Hello everyone. I'm still quite new to YouTube and finally just got in some better camera equipment, so hopefully most of you will find the quality of this video better than my first. I know I'm quite late to the party, but I wanted to share my review of New Wave Toys 1/6 scale Qbert RepliCade. By now I'm sure all of you have seen plenty of reviews regarding this product, but I also want to share my thoughts on how it compares to the real arcade machine, since I'm lucky enough to own both. Just so you all know, I purchased this myself. No one is paying me anything for this review. For some back history, Qbert came out in 1982 from Gottlieb. For those of you who collect full-size arcade machines, you know finding a real one can be difficult and expensive, not to mention a pain to restore, as the filter and game board sets often need rebuild. This is my first RepliCade from New Wave Toys, and I'm happy to say it won't be my last. So let's dive in with a brief overview of the product, and then compare it to the real thing. This is a 1/6 scale replica measuring 11 inches high by 4 inches wide by 5 inches deep. The build quality blew me away, as this is made of real wood, T-molding, featuring a lighted marquee, and working miniature arcade control components. And the actual arcade ROM of the original is present. If the attention and detail wasn't enough, they even threw in a miniature knocker and bonus arcade ROM, including faster, harder, more challenging Qbert. The only thing missing, in my opinion, would be the Qbert Cubes ROM set as an additional bonus. Knowing nothing about New Wave Toys before this purchase, I thought I was purchasing a cool toy on sale. This thing is truly a miniature working model of the real machine in almost every conceivable way. The shape of the cabinet, the color accuracy of the artwork, even the game serial number and warning labels are present on the back side of the cabinet. Looking at the front of the machine, you can truly appreciate the level of detail applied to the control panel with its specialized 4-way diagonal joystick and buttons. Lighted marquee, lighted coin slot, and collection bucket doors, which are made out of metal and fully functional, providing a great space to stash the miniature coins they give you as props. On the back side, you will find USB ports, allowing you to charge the unit, as well as connect external gamepad controllers to play a game if you choose not to use the control panel in front. Gameplay on the unit is surprisingly good despite having a small screen. Graphic and sounds are extremely accurate. Special standouts for the accurate speech emulation and a real knocker that fires when Qbert or enemies die. Some minor pixelation and subtle graphic issues exist, as this is an LCD screen and not a CRT, but definitely something you will forget after a minute of playing. Pressing the second coin slot button allows you to bring up the dip switch menu for the game, as well as options to change game ROMs, attraction sound, and marquee brightness. Now let's have a look at the gameplay of the RepliCade compared to the real Qbert arcade machine. Hey guys, just showing you a little bit how the RepliCade stacks up next to the real Qbert machine. There's a couple things I wanted to point out. Obviously on my Qbert real arcade machine I've got the cussing marquee, but this has the actual more traditional one. But let's take a look here at the control panel, for instance. This is the artwork here on the RepliCade here. It's absolutely fantastic when you compare it to the control panel here of the original one. The colors are just as bright and vibrant. The color accuracy is dead on the money. More importantly, the joystick is actually correct. A slight difference here, the buttons on mine, I'm pretty sure mine are the factory original buttons, are a little bit brighter color. These are more of a darker burgundy color. Not a big deal. If you look at the marquee here, if I make it a little more light here. If you look at the marquee here, though, on the bezel here of the RepliCade, you have the same characters, same color tone as what's here on the original. It's a 1-for-1. I don't think it really gets much better than that. Let's take a look here at some of the things, just like the coin door here on the RepliCade. The shape, everything's perfect, just like the real one down here. Except mine's more beat up. But it's just amazing, the little attention to detail. A couple more things I want to show you here. Let me get some gameplay here real quick here. See if I can key up the coin for this. Very, very similar. As we play here in the RepliCade, we're going to jump off, and there actually is a knocker here. Hopefully you can hear it. So it's just a tiny thump. There's the speech emulation. We go to the real one here. Heard the real knocker on the original one. As I said, the speech emulation is really good on the RepliCade compared to the actual dedicated speech chip on the physical. Let's take a look here at the side artwork here, comparing it between the two. That is pretty close. The color tone, the accuracy of the artwork. There's a slight color tone difference in the yellow of the RepliCade unit versus the real machine. And this is the original paint job. And this one of my projects is to actually do touch-up paint here on the side of my physical machine, but just haven't a chance to do that. But there's some other lovely goodies here on this RepliCade that just makes you really appreciate the love that they put into this thing. Let's take a look here. On the back of the RepliCade unit, I can get my camera to focus, there's a Gottlieb sticker there. You have several warning decals. On the real machine, I have a Gottlieb sticker as well. I mean, the Gottlieb sticker looks almost identical to the RepliCade. There's a few other stickers that are slightly different. Another thing, look here at the back of the RepliCade. See this exhaust grill on the top? There's one here on the real machine too. Little things like this they did not have to put in that really makes this thing extra special. It really is about as true to a detailed model, the original as you can get. RepliCade really fits the title here. Yeah, there we go. Again, taking one step back to take a look at the two. And I'll complete my thoughts for the video. So what's the final word? This is a must-have if you love the classics. Even though I have the real thing at home, this is headed for my desk at work to remind me of one of my favorite machines in my collection. While looking great as a collective art piece, it's simply too much fun to keep boxed up. It's a great conversation piece that anyone will want to pick up and admire, and it definitely scratches that nostalgic itch for anyone who does not have a real Qbert machine.